One common question is, when is workplace bullying illegal? Generally speaking, just bullying in and of itself at the workplace is unlikely to cross the threshold level when it becomes illegal. There are exceptions to that, though. The first and most obvious exception is if it becomes unlawful harassment. In other words, comments bringing up a protected class, age, gender, race, color. There are many, many protected classes. Every individual is a member of a protected class. So if somebody is enduring a work environment that is hostile to them based off of that protected class, we call that harassment. There is another way, even if somebody takes action towards you at work and it doesn't involve a protected class. It may be they just don't like you or whatever the motivation is. Somebody can be liable for emotional distress that they cause to another under the doctrine of intentional infliction of emotional distress. To establish intentional infliction of emotional distress, you have to establish that the person either intended to cause you emotional distress or they acted with a substantial disregard to the fact that they were going to cause you emotional distress. And the conduct was so outrageous that it exceeded the bounds that would usually be tolerated in civilized society. You also have to actually experience severe emotional distress. So it's usually difficult to meet all of those requirements unless you have something horrific. Those might be calling somebody a racial epithet multiple times. Another example, the case where a doctor had gotten into some dispute with his employer and the CEO of the hospital hired someone to plant a gun on him and called in a false police report that he had been involved in a road rage incident and waved a gun. Actions like that go above and beyond mere indignities or insults can qualify as intentional infliction of emotional distress, and those are unlawful, and you can sue the individuals who have done those actions to you. The other issue, though, where you don't see these actions brought typically is because when you sue for intentional infliction of emotional distress and it's not tied to a protected class or activity, you generally are not able to recover attorney's fees. So it's not to say you don't have rights if you're subject to workplace bullying. You certainly do have rights when it comes to experiencing emotional distress caused by others. The workers' compensation system provides compensation to individuals who suffer injury at work. That includes psychiatric injuries such as severe anxiety or depression due to experiences at work.